Today is February 19th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we're going to continue our journey through Chapter 3, more about alcoholism. We'll be reading page 39. Out of the 12 and 12, we are on Step 5. We'll read page 61. And of course, read the 24 hours a day and daily reflection. So with that, hope you all are doing well this morning, my friends. Life is good over here. We are recording a little bit later in the day. I should say that as I'm recording this, it's actually the afternoon. And just so grateful to be here today. There's been little moments throughout the day that have just been awesome. My daughter and I, we built a fort under her bed, and it was funny because she's got all our little cat dolls under there, little tea set under there, and we just hung out under there for a little bit, and then the cats joined us, and then the dog joined us. So we had a little tea party in the fort, and it was awesome. See, a few 24 hours ago, I would have had my little tea party in the garage here, if you know what I mean. So I'm so grateful I don't have to live in that madness, and I can be present for things like this. So it's been a great day already. But anyway, let's get to the good stuff. All right, my friends. So if you recall from yesterday's reading, we got to the third story about the jaywalker and how he kept jumping in front of cars, and then finally it got to the point where he broke his back, swearing that he'd never do it again, and here he is doing it again. And the Big Book makes a point of saying, sounds crazy, but aren't we the same way with alcohol? And one of the points that was made yesterday is the actual or potential alcoholic, with hardly an exception, will be absolutely unable to stop drinking on the basis of self-knowledge. So we have another demonstration here with a man named Fred. Page 39. Fred is a partner in a well-known accounting firm. His income's good. He has a fine home, is happily married, and the father of promising children of college age. He has so attractive a personality that he makes friends with everyone. If ever there was a successful businessman, it is Fred. To all appearance, he is a stable, well-balanced individual. Yet, he is alcoholic. We first saw Fred about a year ago in a hospital where he had gone to recover from a bad case of jitters. It was his first experience of this kind, and he was much ashamed of it. Far from admitting that he was an alcoholic, he told himself that he came to the hospital to rest his nerves. The doctor intimated strongly that he might be worse than he realized. For a few days, he was depressed about his condition. He made up his mind to quit drinking altogether. It never occurred to him that perhaps he could not do so, in spite of his character and standing. Fred would not believe himself an alcoholic, much less accept a spiritual remedy for his problem. We told him what we knew about alcoholism. He was interested and conceded that he had some of the symptoms, but he was a long way from admitting that he could do nothing about it himself. He was positive that his humiliating experience, plus the knowledge that he had acquired, would keep him sober the rest of his life. Self-knowledge would fix it. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Step 5. Admit it to God, to ourselves, and to another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs. And today we're going to talk about choosing the right person to confide in when doing the fifth step. Bottom of page 60 and 61. Our next problem will be to discover the person in whom we are to confide. We ought to take much care, remembering that prudence is a virtue which carries a high rating. Perhaps we shall need to share with this person facts about ourselves which no others ought to know. We shall want to speak with someone who's experienced, who not only has stayed dry, but has been able to surmount other serious difficulties. Difficulties perhaps like your own. This person may turn out to be one's sponsor, but not necessarily so. If you've developed a high confidence in him, and his temperament and problems are close to your own, then such a choice will be good. Besides, your sponsor already has the advantage of knowing something about your case, Perhaps, though, your relation to him is such that you would care to reveal only a part of your story. If this is the situation, by all means do so. For you ought to make a beginning as soon as you can. It may turn out, however, that you'll choose someone else for the more difficult and deeper revelations. This individual may be entirely outside of AA. For example, your clergyman or your doctor. For some of us, a complete stranger may prove to be the best bet. The real tests of this situation are your own willingness to confide and your full confidence in the one with whom you share your first accurate self-survey. Even when you found the person, it frequently takes great resolution to approach him or her. No one ought to say the AA program requires no willpower. Here is one place you may require all you've got. Happily, though, the chances are that you will be in for a very pleasant surprise. When your mission is carefully explained, and it is seen by the recipient of your confidence how helpful he can really be, the conversation will start easily and will soon become eager. "24 hours a day, February 19th. AA Thought for the Day. Many things we do in AA are in preparation for that crucial moment when, walking down the street on a nice sunshiny day, we see a nice cool cocktail lounge and the idea of having a drink pops into our minds. If we've trained our minds so that we're well prepared for that crucial moment, we won't take that first drink. In other words, if we've done our AA homework well, we won't slip when temptation comes. In preparation for that crucial moment when I'll be tempted, will I keep in mind the fact that liquor is my enemy? Meditation for the day. How many of the world's prayers have gone unanswered because those who prayed did not endure to the end? They thought it was too late, that they must act for themselves, that God was not going to guide them. He that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. Can I endure to the very end? If so, I shall be saved. I will try to endure with courage. If I endure, God will unlock those secret spiritual treasures that are hidden from those who do not endure to the end. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may follow God's guidance, so that spiritual success shall be mine. I pray that I may never doubt the power of God, and so take things into my own hands. Daily Reflection, February 19th. I'm not different. In the beginning, it was 4 whole years before AA brought permanent sobriety to even one alcoholic woman. Like the high bottoms, the women said that they were different. The skid rower said that he was different. So did the artists and professional people, the rich, the poor, the religious, the agnostic, the Indians and the Eskimos, the veterans, and the prisoners. Nowadays, all of these, and legions more, soberly talk about how very much alike all of us alcoholics are when we admit that the chips are finally down. As Bill sees it, page 24. I cannot consider myself different in AA. If I do, I isolate myself from others and from contact with my higher power. If I feel isolated in AA, it is not something for which others are responsible. It is something that I created by feeling that I am different in some way. Today, I practice being just another alcoholic in the worldwide fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous. All right, my friends, that concludes today's reading. It's some great stuff as always. I love that daily reflection. One of the things I was taught early on is listen for the similarities. And it is crazy. You'll look around a room full of people sharing, and we couldn't be any more different. You have doctors, you've got mechanics, you've got teachers and office workers and retirees and 18-year-olds. It's such a mixed bag, and you would think that normally we would not mix, right? But one thing I heard right away was the common problem. The way that the people would talk about alcoholism, how they would hide it, or they try to control it, or they would obsess about it, was exactly the way I was. But also, another beautiful thing is, it's not that we just share the same common peril, but we share the same solution. And that is the beautiful program of Alcoholics Anonymous, which are these spiritual steps, Okay, I'll share this real quick. I remember telling a friend outside of AA who he doesn't, what is he, a muggle? Compared to us, I guess. And he was really, and he's a very good friend of mine, and he was worried that I was part of a cult. And I said, no, man. I said, if anything, this is giving me freedom. Because he's like, Rob, do you have to keep coming back? Why do you want to keep coming back? And I said, dude, it's to help the next person that's struggling, right? I've been given a second chance. And by helping the next person, I feel better. So go figure, right? And, he nodded his head, but I could tell that, I don't know if he really understood what I was trying to say, but for those of you who are in the same lifeboat recovery as me, I think you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, also I love what it says in the 12 and 12, or excuse me, the big book, talking about self-knowledge once again, and they're demonstrating that with this guy named Fred. You can almost hear it. Fred's not going to make it, at least right off the bat, because he's saying, yeah, I may have some things in common with you guys, but I got this. So we're going to find out a little bit more about Fred tomorrow. But again, they're trying to make the illustration that self-knowledge for alcoholics is, self-knowledge is not enough to stay sober. I know for me, I had to have a spiritual awakening. It's taken time, it's taken a lot of reps, but it's well worth the work. And I also love what the 12 and 12 says, talking about picking the right person, somebody that you trust. Doesn't necessarily have to be your sponsor, but luckily for me, it was my, I guess, unofficial sponsor. I never really asked him to be my sponsor, the first man I talked to. And then when I got an official sponsor about a year later, luckily for me, it was two men that I really trusted to keep things confidential, and two men that I had a lot in common with. And in both occasions, they were so gracious and appreciative of me being honest with them. So it's just a beautiful thing, this program. But my friend, if you are sober today, I hope you know that you're a miracle, and that those who love you are very proud of you, and I'm proud of you. I've been told that we're giving a great gift, not just to ourselves, but to those around us, by being sober. Not dry, but sober. For the longest time, I didn't know the difference. But I look at sobriety as freedom and peace and contentment. Where dry was just me not drinking. Some people probably thought I probably should drink. I was more laid back when I did, those early days. But sobriety is a beautiful thing. And if you're sober, you're a miracle. And if you're not sober, I hope you know that you're a miracle as well. That your story is not done yet. And you can make the very first step toward change today. And you don't have to do it alone. Find the help that you need. There are so many resources and outlets out there. You can make that first step toward change today, and you're worthy of recovery. I hope you know that. And finally, I don't speak on behalf of AA, NA, Al-Anon, any other sect. I am just a friend in this lifeboat of recovery, really honored to be here today. And if we are given another set of 24 hours, my friends, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.